I'm using the lavender tiny tea spheres. And take 2 squirts of the lavender pure essential oil, massage them into the palm of your hand, and then hold 1 tea sphere in each hand. Hold your hands about 10 centimeters above the client and ask her to inhale for 3 and exhale for 3, and do this 3 times. Then take the spheres and place them in the palm of the hand, and then place your hands on the client's shoulders so that you're working on the trapezius muscle. Push down slowly with your left hand, and then slowly with your right, and try and work with your client's breathing. Do this 3 times and then finish with 1 breath, just literally holding the T spheres over the trapezius muscle. Roll them down and then place them in the middle finger, literally as your finger meets the palm of your hand, and then just secure them with the 2 outer fingers and place them on the client's forehead, just as the brows start from the inner part, just above the bridge of the nose. Hold in very, very small circular motion for 3, and then roll up about 1 centimeter, and again 3 very, very small, slow circular movements. Then move up, small circular movements, up until you reach the hairline. When you reach the hairline, you'll have them at the tips of your fingers. Then take them so they're placed between the tips of your fingers and your thumb, and then just apply a gentle but firm pressure going down the scalp. And again, circular motions, and do it for a count of 3. So I'm doing this a lot faster. When you get as far that you can't go any further, you then take the spheres back into the original position, place them gently over the brow, but about 1 centimeter along, and repeat. Small circular movements 3 times on every spot. Take them in your fingers and apply pressure when you get to the hairline going into the scalp. And again, back onto the brows. So on the brows you're working on the occipitalis oculi. You're working on the bacchinator muscle, which causes frowning, and the frontalis muscle. And if your client suffers from tension, then quite often you can see that tension in little frown lines and lateral lines on the forehead. So once you've gotten to the end of the brow, you then just follow up with pressure point literally on the scalp, working on the temporalis muscle, which is again lovely for tension headaches. And even though you're working on the scalp, it's having an amazing effect on the rest of the face and releasing tension. Then take the spheres and gently apply very, very gentle pressure over the temples. and that's for 3. Then from that movement, take them onto the tips of your fingers and then roll them underneath the eyes on the bone that's surrounding the eye area. And this is again working on the occipitalis oculi, so it's really good for crow's feet, tension headaches and sinus. Move down a little bit and then roll again outwards, so you're applying a firm but gentle pressure on the cheekbone area. And then come back in until you reach the outer corners of the nose, and then again pressure for a count of 3, very, very small, slow circular movements, following the lateral line coming down to the corner of the mouth, and then working your way back up again. When you're back to each corner of the nose, you then follow the fleshy area just lying underneath your cheekbones, and you'll catch the masseter muscle, and this is very good for TMJ as well. Then rolling movements over the masseter, and you can really feel where the tension is. If you find an area with a lot of tension, then just work a little bit more on that area, again keeping the movements really, really slow. And once you've covered that whole cheek area, you can then move on to the chin area and carry on with those rolling movements, always upwards. This is very, very good for kind of saggy jowls, or if someone suffers from depression, it's a really nice uplifting feeling to the facial muscles. And then outwards again to the corner of the ear, and then pressure just to the side of the neck, just rolling down, and pressure for 3 again, pressure, and then just rest them just behind the clavicle bone for a count of 3. Roll them over in front of the clavicle bone, and then small downwards rolling movements on the pecs. And then just hold. Roll away, and then just come back to the temples, and really make sure this is your last movement, so just make sure that your hands are really cupping the client's face so that the energy can flow through to the client while you're applying pressure to your temples. And slow for a count of 3, slow circular movements, and then just roll them off. It should take about 15 to 20 minutes, and again depending on certain areas that might need working on more, but just make sure that it's really, really slow and count of 3, and working with the client's breath as well.